Shohei Ohtani is rewriting baseball history in real time.
This is the best athlete in America. There's nothing like him.
Ohtani, this dude
different.
We've never seen nothing like him.
The stats are wild, and the impact is even bigger, but there's one overlooked factor, a secret to his game, that might finally explain just how good Shohei Ohtani really is. Let's get into it. The numbers don't lie. Ohtani's statistical dominance. When you ask the question, how good is Shohei Ohtani really? The answer isn't just impressive, it's downright mind-boggling. We're talking about a player who has literally broken the game of baseball, redefining what's possible in a sport that's been played professionally for over 150 years. But let's not get ahead of ourselves with hyperbole. Let's dive deep into the cold, hard numbers that paint the picture of perhaps the most extraordinary athlete in baseball history.
Indescribable how great Shohei Ohtani is.
Starting with his 2025 season, which continues to showcase why Ohtani stands in a league entirely of his own, we see statistical dominance that would be remarkable for a single position player, let alone someone who excels at both hitting and pitching. Through 92 games in the 2025 season, Ohtani has posted a .274 batting average with 36 home runs, 69 RBIs, and a staggering .993 OPS, numbers that would make any hitter in Major League Baseball envious. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. He's doing this while simultaneously returning to the mound as an elite pitcher. The advanced metrics tell an even more compelling story about Ohtani's true greatness. According to Baseball Savant's comprehensive analysis, Ohtani's 2025 batting metrics include an average exit velocity of 94.9 mm, which ranks as elite, reflecting his incredible ability to consistently hit the ball hard. When we talk about hard hit percentage, we're looking at 59.7%, which indicates not just occasional solid contact, but consistent, devastating contact that leaves opposing pitchers and fielders scrambling. But perhaps the most telling advanced metric is his weighted on-base average, or WOBA, which sits at 412, placing him in the 99th percentile league-wide. For context, this means that out of every 100 hitters in Major League Baseball, Ohtani ranks better than 99 of them in this comprehensive measure of offensive contribution. Even more impressive is his expected WOBA of 434, which suggests his performance is not only elite, but sustainable, meaning he's not getting lucky, he's genuinely this good. The barrel percentage statistic reveals another layer of Ohtani's offensive mastery. At 22.7%, he's achieving optimal contact leading to extra base hits at a rate that few players in history have sustained. To put this in perspective, a barrel occurs when a batted ball has the ideal combination of exit velocity and launch angle, typically resulting in a batting average over 500 and a slugging percentage above 1,500. Ohtani is doing this nearly a quarter of the time he makes contact. Now, while there have been some fluctuations in his performance, as is natural for any player over the course of a grueling 162-game season, the overall picture remains one of sustained excellence. A Baseball Savant report from July 22, 2025 showed a temporary dip with an average exit velocity of 87.2 km/h and a WOBA of .238, but this kind of short-term variance is completely normal and doesn't diminish his overall dominance. What makes these numbers even more remarkable is the context in which they're being produced. Ohtani leads the National League with 32 home runs at one point in the season, and his ability to hit home runs in 5 straight games while maintaining a pace for nearly 60 home runs underscores not just his power, but his consistency in delivering that power when it matters most. To truly understand Ohtani's greatness, we need to look at his 2024 season, which set the bar so high that it seemed almost impossible to repeat. His 2024 campaign featured a .310, .390, .646 line with 54 home runs, 130 RBIs, and 59 stolen bases, making him the first player in baseball history to achieve what's now known as the 50-50 season, 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same year. This wasn't just a milestone, it was a complete redefinition of what athletic excellence looks like. The fact that his 2025 performance, while his batting average and projected home run pace are lower than 2024, still represents elite production speaks volumes about the standard he's set for himself. His .174 OPS+, meaning he's performing 74% above league average, would be a career year for most players. Yet for Ohtani, it's just another season of sustained excellence. But here's where Ohtani truly separates himself from every other player in baseball. He's not just an elite hitter, he's simultaneously an elite pitcher. His return to the mound in 2025, after undergoing Tommy John surgery in 2023, has been nothing short of spectacular. Through 5 starts, he has pitched 9 innings with a 1.00 ERA, allowing just 1 earned run while striking out 10 and walking only 2. The sophistication of his pitching arsenal is equally impressive. His pitch mix includes includes a four-seamer, sweeper, slider, sinker, split finger, and cutter, giving him multiple ways to attack hitters and keep them off balance. When we talk about his fastball velocity, we're not just talking about good. His fastball reaches 102 mph, putting him among the hardest throwers in the game. The historical context of what Ohtani is accomplishing cannot be overstated. His pitching statistics from 2021-2023 show a record of 34-16 with a 2.84 ERA, numbers that would qualify him as a Cy Young candidate in any normal circumstance. But these aren't normal circumstances. He's producing these numbers while simultaneously being one of the most feared hitters in baseball. Looking at his current season rankings provides even more evidence of his extraordinary talent. He leads the National League with 36 home runs through 92 games, ranking second in all of MLB behind only Aaron Judge's 39. His .993 OPS ranks second in the NL behind Freddie Freeman's 1.015 and fourth in all of MLB, while his 174 OPS plus ranks third in the National League. Perhaps most impressively, he's on pace for 150 runs scored, a mark that only Ted Williams and Jeff Bagwell have achieved since World War II. This statistic alone speaks to not just his individual excellence, but his ability to impact winning in ways that go beyond traditional counting stats. When we look at wins above replacement, WAR, one of the most comprehensive measures of player value, Ohtani's 5.8 FWAR ranks third in all of MLB behind only Judge 7.2 and Bobby Witt Jr. 6.5. What makes this even more remarkable is that this WAR calculation primarily reflects his offensive contributions, with his pitching adding additional value that's difficult to fully quantify in traditional metrics. The recognition from his peers and the broader baseball community further validates what the numbers are telling us. ESPN's 2025 MLB rank lists Ohtani as the #1 player in baseball, ahead of players like Judge, Paul Skenes, and Bobby Witt Jr. This ranking isn't just based on current performance, but on the unique combination of skills and the unprecedented nature of his two-way contributions. In player polls, the respect for Ohtani's abilities is even more evident. In a 2025 Athletic poll, Ohtani earned 20% of votes as the player most enjoyable to watch, leading Aaron Judge's 9.4%. More tellingly, in a 2024 Fox Sports poll, he garnered 46% of votes as the best player in baseball, far ahead of Ronald Acuna Jr.'s 26.5%. The statistical dominance we're witnessing isn't just impressive in isolation, it's historically unprecedented. When we compare Ohtani to the only other notable two-way player in baseball history, Babe Ruth, the comparison actually favors Ohtani due to the increased level of competition and specialization in today's game. Ruth's 1918 season with an 11-5 record, 2.22 ERA, and 11 home runs is the closest historical parallel. But Ohtani's sustained excellence across multiple seasons, with higher home run totals and the addition of stolen bases, sets him apart even from the Sultan of SWAT himself. These numbers paint a picture of a player who isn't just good, he's operating on a completely different level than anyone else in the sport. But statistics, as impressive as they are, only tell part of the story. To truly understand how good Shohei Ohtani really is, we need to examine his historical achievements and the unprecedented nature of what he's accomplished in his relatively short MLB career. Breaking barriers, Ohtani's historic achievements. While the statistical breakdown reveals Ohtani's current dominance, it's his collection of historic achievements and barrier-breaking moments that truly answer the question of how good he really is. We're not just talking about a great player having a great season. We're talking about someone who has fundamentally altered what we thought was possible in professional baseball, creating new categories of excellence that didn't exist before his arrival. The most obvious place to start is with his Most Valuable Player awards, but even here, Ohtani has managed to do something that no player in the 90-plus year history of the award has accomplished.
2024 Most Valuable Player goes to my teammate, Shohei Ohtani.
He won his third unanimous MVP award in 2024 in the National League, following two previous unanimous wins in the American League in 2021 and 2023, making him the only player in MLB history with 3 unanimous MVPs and only the second player ever to win the award in both leagues. To put this in perspective, getting even one unanimous MVP is extraordinarily rare. It means every single voter across the country looked at all the candidates and concluded that Ohtani was so clearly superior that no other player deserved even a single first-place vote. But Ohtani didn't just win 3 unanimous MVPs, he accomplished something that transcends traditional player evaluation. The first player to win MVP awards in both leagues was Frank Robinson, a Hall of Famer who won in 1961 with Cincinnati and 1966 with Baltimore. The difference? Robinson won his awards by excelling at one position. Ohtani won his by literally playing 2 positions at an elite elite level simultaneously. The creation of the 50-50 club in 2024 represents perhaps the single most remarkable individual achievement in baseball history. Ohtani became the first player ever to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a season, but the way he accomplished this milestone was equally spectacular. His 50-50 achievement was highlighted by a single game where he went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases, a performance so dominant that it almost seemed fictional.
One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club!
To understand why the 50-50 club is so significant, we need to appreciate how rare each individual component is. In baseball history, only a handful of players have ever hit 50 home runs in a season, and even fewer have stolen 50 bases. The combination of elite power and elite speed has been considered virtually impossible at the highest level of professional baseball, where specialization typically forces players to choose one skill set over another. Ohtani didn't choose, he mastered both. But even the 50-50 achievement doesn't fully capture Ohtani's two-way excellence. He remains the only player to qualify for league leaders as both a hitter and pitcher in the same season, accomplishing this feat in 2022. This means that in a single season, he played enough games as a position player to be ranked among the league's hitting leaders, while simultaneously pitching enough innings to be ranked among the league's pitching leaders. In the modern era of baseball specialization, this shouldn't be possible, yet Ohtani made it look routine. The 2022 season specifically showcased this dual dominance perfectly. He became the first player to achieve 10-plus pitching wins and 30-plus home runs in the same season, a combination that hadn't been seen since the dead ball era when the game was fundamentally different. This wasn't just about accumulating counting stats, he was performing at an elite level in both disciplines simultaneously. His 2023 season provided yet another example of his unprecedented versatility. He led the American League in home runs with 44, while also leading in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS 1.066, all while posting a 10-5 record with a 3.14 ERA as a pitcher. Think about that for a moment. He was literally the best hitter in the American League by multiple measures, while simultaneously being one of the league's most effective starting pitchers. The All-Star Game recognition speaks to another unique aspect of Ohtani's career. He has been selected to 5 consecutive All-Star Games from 2021-2025 as both a pitcher and hitter, something that no other player in baseball history has achieved.
Leading off from the Dodgers, DH Shohei Ohtani.
This isn't just about being good enough to make the team. It's about being so good at both hitting and pitching that the managers and fans recognize him as among the very best in both categories year after year. The 2023 World Baseball Classic provided a global stage for Ohtani to demonstrate his excellence, and he didn't disappoint. He won the tournament's MVP award while batting .435 with a 1.345 OPS and going 2-0 with a 1.86 ERA. The tournament's final moment perfectly encapsulated his unique position in baseball, with Japan leading by 1 run and the United States threatening to tie the game. Ohtani struck out Mike Trout for the title.
Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out! Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
The symbolism was perfect. The best two-way player in the world defeating the best traditional hitter in the world on the biggest stage. When we examine his career pitching statistics, the sustained excellence becomes even more impressive. From 2021-2023, Ohtani compiled a 34-16 record with a 2.84 ERA, numbers that would make him a legitimate Cy Young candidate in any season where he wasn't simultaneously one of the league's most feared hitters. The fact that these numbers represent his side job while excelling as a hitter makes them even more remarkable. His return to pitching in 2025, following his second Tommy John surgery, has been carefully managed by the Dodgers, but the early results suggest he hasn't lost any of his effectiveness. The Dodgers have used him as an opener, limiting his innings to protect his arm, but his 1.00 ERA through 9 innings, with 10 strikeouts and only 2 walks, indicates that he's retained the Cy Young caliber form that made him so dominant before his injury. The physical tools that enable these achievements are equally unprecedented. His fastball reaches 102 mph, putting him among the hardest throwers in the game, while his batting produces average exit velocities of 94.9 mph, indicating elite bat speed and strength. The combination of being able to throw 100+ mph and hit balls 400+ feet in the same game represents a level of athletic ability that we've never seen before in professional baseball. But perhaps the most impressive historical achievement is how Ohtani has sustained this this level of excellence despite significant injury challenges. He has undergone 2 Tommy John surgeries in 2018 and 2023 and dealt with a torn labrum from the 2024 World Series, yet he continues to perform at an elite level. The 2020 season provided a cautionary tale when his first attempted return from Tommy John surgery failed spectacularly, lasting 0 outs while allowing 5 runs in 1 start. Most players would have abandoned the two-way approach after such a setback, but Ohtani persevered and came back stronger. The cultural and historical significance of Ohtani's achievements extends beyond individual statistics and accolades. He has single-handedly revived interest in two-way players and forced baseball to reconsider long-held assumptions about specialization. The sport had evolved to a point where position players and pitchers were considered completely separate skill sets, requiring different training, different body types, and different mental approaches. Ohtani proved that assumption wrong. His impact on international baseball has been equally significant. His role in Japan's 2023 WBC victory elevated the sport's international profile, while his success in MLB has inspired a generation of young players worldwide to develop both hitting and pitching skills rather than specializing early. The ripple effects of his achievements will likely be felt for decades as the next generation of players grows up believing that two-way excellence is possible. The awards and recognition continue to accumulate, but they almost seem insufficient to capture the full scope of what Ohtani has accomplished. His estimated $100 million in 2025 endorsement earnings from brands like New Balance, Fanatics, and Japan Airlines reflect not just his on-field excellence, but his unique position as a global sports icon who transcends traditional baseball boundaries. Even his team's success adds to his historical legacy. His 2024 season helped the Dodgers win the World Series, proving that his individual excellence translates to championship-level team success. The fact that he performed at his historic 50-50 level while contributing to a World Series championship eliminates any argument that his individual achievements come at the expense of team success. But individual excellence and historical achievements, as impressive as they are, don't exist in a vacuum. To fully understand how good Ohtani really is, we need to compare him directly to his contemporaries and examine what makes him fundamentally different from every other elite player in the game today. Why Ohtani stands alone. Let's start with the player most commonly mentioned as his closest competition, Aaron Judge. Judge's 2025 statistics are absolutely phenomenal. .391 batting average, .488 on-base percentage, .739 slugging percentage, 1.227 OPS, 39 home runs, and 7.2 FFAR. These numbers represent the pinnacle of offensive excellence, and in any normal season, they would make Judge the undisputed best player in baseball. Judge's pure hitting ability in 2025 is superior to Ohtani's. There's no arguing with a .391 batting average and 1.227 OPS, but here's where the comparison becomes fascinating and ultimately reveals why Ohtani is on another level entirely. While Judge dominates as a hitter with elite defensive contributions in center field, Ohtani's two-way ability gives him an edge in versatility that Judge simply cannot match. Judge can't throw a 102 mph fastball or strike out major league hitters. Ohtani's pitching contributions, with his 1.00 ERA and 3 runs above average on the mound, add unmatched value that Judge's defensive skills, impressive as they are, cannot replicate. The comparison with Bobby Witt Jr. presents another interesting case study in why Ohtani stands alone. Witt's projected 2025 stats of 300, 400, 500 with a 35 home run pace, 50 stolen base pace, 6.5 FWAR, and Gold Glove level defense make him one of the most complete players in baseball. Witt represents what we traditionally think of as a 5-tool player. He can hit for average, hit for power, run, field, and throw. His combination of 50 steals and shortstop defense is genuinely elite and incredibly valuable. However, while Witt's all-around game makes him a 5-tool star, Ohtani's two-way dominance overshadows even Witt's exceptional single-position excellence. Witt brings tremendous value through his defensive position and speed, but he can't pitch at an elite level. Ohtani essentially brings 6 tools to the game, all 5 traditional tools plus elite pitching ability. He's operating with an extra dimension that Witt, talented as he is, simply doesn't possess. The emergence of Pete Crow Armstrong as a potential 40-40 candidate, 40 home runs, and 40 stolen bases provides yet another lens through which to view Ohtani's uniqueness. Crow Armstrong's projected 42 home run pace, 46 stolen base pace, 140 OPS plus, and 15 defensive runs saved represent exactly the kind of rare combination that typically generates MVP consideration. His speed and power combination, along with elite center field defense, would normally be enough to challenge for the top spot in the National League, but once Once again, while Crow Armstrong's potential 40-40 season and elite center field defense challenge Ohtani for NL MVP consideration, Ohtani's 174 OPS plus and pitching ability give him a clear advantage. Crow Armstrong is doing something special, but Ohtani is doing something that transcends traditional player categories entirely. Perhaps the most telling comparison comes from Cal Raleigh, whose power numbers from the catcher position are historically unprecedented. Raleigh's 184 OPS plus actually surpasses Ohtani's 174, while his projected 50 home run pace and Gold Glove defense represent the kind of positional value that typically drives MVP voting. The catcher position is so demanding defensively that elite offensive production from behind the plate is extremely rare and valuable. Yet even with Raleigh's superior OPS plus and the premium value of his catching position, Ohtani's higher home run total and pitching contributions outweigh Raleigh's positional advantage. This comparison perfectly illustrates why traditional methods of player evaluation struggle with Ohtani. He's adding value in ways that the sport has never seen before. The pitching comparison with Tarik Skubal reveals another layer of Ohtani's unprecedented value. Skubal's projected 11-5 record with a 2.98 ERA, 1-70 strikeouts, and 3.7 FWAR make him the AL Cy Young favorite. His pitching dominance, including 225 strikeouts in 2024, represents elite starting pitcher production that would normally be considered more valuable than any individual hitter's contribution. But this is where Ohtani's two-way excellence becomes almost absurd. While Skubal's pitching dominance outpaces Ohtani's limited 2025 pitching sample, Ohtani's elite hitting makes him more valuable overall. Ohtani is essentially competing with the best pitcher in the American League while simultaneously being one of the best hitters in all of baseball. It's like comparing a player to two different people and having him hold his own against both. What makes Ohtani truly special isn't just that he's good at two different things, it's that he's elite at two completely different skill sets that have never been successfully combined at this level in the modern era. His unprecedented two-way excellence makes him the only player since Babe Ruth to excel as both a pitcher and hitter, but unlike Ruth, who transitioned to hitting full-time, Ohtani sustains elite performance in both roles. The historical context makes this even more remarkable. When Babe Ruth was playing, baseball was a different sport entirely. Players were smaller, training was less sophisticated, and the level of specialization was minimal compared to today's game. Ruth's 1918 season with 11 pitching wins and 11 home runs was impressive for its time, but Ohtani is doing far more against much better competition. In 2022, he became the first player in the World Series era with 10-plus pitching wins and 30-plus home runs in the same season, surpassing Ruth's achievement in a much more competitive environment. The physical requirements alone set Ohtani apart from every other player. His ability to throw 100-plus mph and hit 400-plus foot home runs in the same game represents a level of athletic ability that we've never seen before. Most pitchers who throw 100 mph are built differently than most hitters who hit 400-foot home runs. Ohtani somehow combines the explosive rotational power needed for elite hitting with the specific kinetic chain and arm strength required for elite pitching.
Even back then, all of us were like, how is this even possible? You know what I mean? Like, right. It's just amazing to watch because he's doing it at the highest level and pretty much better than everybody else.
The recognition from his peers provides perhaps the most telling evidence of his unique position. In a 2024 Fox Sports poll, 46% of players named Ohtani the best in baseball, with one stating, "There is no comparison. Everyone has a comp, he's got no comp." When the best players in the world struggle to find comparisons for someone, that's a pretty clear indication that we're dealing with something unprecedented. His advanced metrics support this assessment. Ohtani ranks in the 99th percentile for xWOBA, xBA, xSLG, average exit velocity, barrel rate, and hard hit rate, even in what's considered a slightly down year for him. These metrics measure the quality of his offensive contributions, and he's literally among the top 1% of all hitters while simultaneously pitching at an elite level. The versatility extends beyond just hitting and pitching. His 59 stolen bases in 2024 demonstrate that he's a threat on the base paths, unlike most power hitters. Most players who hit 50-plus home runs don't steal 50-plus bases. Most players who steal 50-plus bases don't hit 50-plus home runs. Most players who do either don't also pitch at a Cy Young level. Ohtani does all three. His pitch repertoire in 2025, including a four-seamer, 48.9%, sweeper, 24.7%, slider, 10.8%, sinker, 6.5%, split finger, 4.8%, and cutter, 4.3%, shows the sophistication of his pitching approach. This isn't just a guy who throws hard. He's a complete pitcher with multiple ways to attack hitters, combined with being a complete hitter with multiple ways to attack pitchers. The question, how good is Shohei Ohtani really ultimately can't be answered by traditional metrics or comparisons, because there's nothing traditional about what he's doing. He's not just the best player in baseball, he's operating in a category that no other player can even approach. While Aaron Judge might hit better in a given season, while Bobby Witt Jr. might be more complete as a position player, while Tarik Skubal might be more dominant as a pitcher, none of them can do what Ohtani does, excel at an elite level in two completely different skill sets simultaneously. In a sport that has evolved toward extreme specialization, where players typically choose between hitting and pitching early in their careers, Ohtani has proven that the limits we thought existed were artificial. He's not just good, he's redefining what good means in professional baseball, creating new standards of athletic achievement that may never be matched again. And with that, we've come to the end of this deep dive. For more juicy content like this, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and check out the cards showing on your screen for more videos. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below.